Hi guys, it's Nancy Lynn from Sew Euphoria. I'm here today. We're not working on our country journal today. I figured I came up with this little thing. I'm sure it's probably been done before, but I haven't seen anyone do it. So we're just going to work on this. This is just a prototype and how it's going to all fit together. We're going to kind of work it. I figured this part out, but I hadn't made one, so now we're going to try and make one together. Now what I did do is I went ahead and pre-glued some of my strip papers, and I put so that they were double-sided. And now the only thing I really need to make sure I do is trim up any. I don't want these raw edges to show. I just want it to be I'll just get rid of all this trash. And I think the other one is already okay. Now I'm going to use this one here right now. And we're going to work on this part of the envelope. And all I did was take it and fold it in half. And so I want the roses to show. So I'm going to take it, make sure we're pretty even, and just fold it in half. Easy, easy peasy. And then we're gonna fold it over so that I can kind of get just a pinch of my halfway mark. And what I want is for one of these to be a little bit longer than the other. But the next one I'm going to fold is going to be this other piece. And all we're going to do with this is fold it. And then I want to make this rounded edge, so I'm going to use this. Like I said, I haven't made one of these, so hold on. That's the fold. It comes out here. And so I just want to trim . And so now we have this piece, and it was a little bit smaller than the other, so I'm just going to make sure my ends are okay. Alright, so now this is going to go to be our centerpiece, and we're going to fold one end over shorter. Sure that's okay before we crease it. And then we're going to push that in there. We want it in there, but because we're going to glue this down. And then the other end, we want this nice and flat. So this is what we're ending, whoop, I gotta find my spot. This is what we're ending up with here. And then it's gonna have two flaps that are gonna open. So now that I have it folded, what I would like to do is take this down and I think I'm going to cut this in half because I really don't need all of this. And this is going to go down here in between the flaps. So then it's going to be hidden in between here. And then our folds are going to come over. But before I do that, I want to think about how I'm going to finish it. And I want to put a little tie on here. So what I'm going to do is just right in where the center of this is. You can kind of guesstimate it, and it's right there. And I'm just going to pinch just a tiny little piece so that what I have is a little opening in there. And let me see if I can get this to give better lighting tonight. Here we go. And there's a little itty bitty hole right there. And what that hole is for the tie that we're going to use. And I'm just using a really small piece of, it's kind of a string. And so we're going to push the knot through the little hole from the front side. And so there we have that. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to glue it down over that so that it will hold this in place for later on for when we use it to tie. And I am going to use my Aleene's tacky glue, and I think I'm going to put a little bit down just for my string so I won't be wondering. And then this is going to go here, but before I glue it I want to make sure that I have it at the right spot. And now I'm only going to go with my glue to right there. So now I'm going to put some glue on here. Nope, wait a second. It's got to go on this side. See, I told you we're learning as we go today. I'm trying this. I don't know how it's going to work. But we'll do it on both sides because I want it to come, my flap to come over that way. Alright, so we're going to bring this in and put it over. And we're going to bring this down and then check to make sure that we're going to fold okay, and we are. And so now I'm going to make sure that this all gets glued down. Make sure this is kind of even when it comes down, and it is. So now we have our string for our tie. We have our pieces here. Now this piece, you can glue or not glue. You could actually make that and only glue it on the behind, but as I was doing this, I wasn't thinking. But what I am going to do is just put a small bead of glue here. And small bead of glue there. And I am going to go underneath here and put a bead of glue. So how is everyone doing today? I should say that it is nighttime here. I've been busy with the puppy all day. She's getting into her own now. She was really good the first couple of days, but man, she paid up for it today. She was into everything, as we know our puppies do. I'm going to make sure that's a little bit more even. And so this one's going to go down first, and then this one's going to go here, and this flap is going to come over. So it makes like a little wallet, which I think is kind of cute. And so we're going to put our prototype up. So we'll have that for later. And now what I want to do is I do want to put something right in here, some paper, some pockets. Now what we're going to have is we'll have a pocket here, and we're going to have a pocket here. Now this one you could put something a little bit longer on. This one, it would have to be pretty much the size of the pocket itself. And I got this piece here, and I thought we could glue that in there, and that would be a good tuck. And so I'm going to use the green. Yeah, let's use green around this. This is Distress Ink, and it is Forest Moss. And first we're going to go around here. Alright, so we've got that done, and I think while I've got this here, sorry I keep going out of the view of the camera. And I think I'm going to hold this in. These are going to open some. And then put some green there. And some green right along there. And then while we're at it, we might as well do I just think this doing it. I've seen one lately that's been put out there, and it was long like this, and then it had where the pockets on the side, and then the flap came over this way. But I just thought this was something different. But somebody else has done this. I have not seen them yet do it. So just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to give you credit for the idea. But so far, I don't know if you're like me. I was working on that country journal, and I get bored if I'm doing kind of the same thing. I like to start something new. And so that's what this is. This is something new. I'm actually making a couple of prayer journals, and that's what this is going to go into, is the prayer journals. Alright, so we've got that. And now I think I'm going to put this in there as a pocket. And so we're just going to glue it down on 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. And we'll even it up, and I'm going to bring it down as far as there. And so then that way we can fit in a couple of tags in there. And then on these pieces, I think I'm going to take this and let's see if I need to make it a little bit shorter. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. And I think I'm going to actually put this in here this way so there'll be a contrast between here and here. And I'm going to get some paper. And that will fit. Yeah, that will fit. Nice handy little grab. So all I'm going to do is do this. And I'm going to bring this in a little bit because I don't want it to be as long as that. And on over a little bit more. Looks like right on this line I can cut it. And I need to cut it off just a little bit shorter. And we'll round this edge. And we're going to come in and round this edge a little bit more. And so this is going to go in here. And I think then I'm just going to, if it will fit, bend it just a little. Oh, can I force it? I'm trying to force it in there to meet, and then nope, it's got to go this way. I want the rough part of the staple on the inside. There's that. There's that. And I think I'm cutting my fabric down, my paper down here. All this so I just didn't have to stop and go get something soft to staple on. Here we go. And now we've got our cute little thing here. Now what I could do is I can put it there, or I should be able to slip it into this pocket. Should fit. That makes it a little bulky. I think I am going to glue it right there so that they'll have another writing space. And I'm just going to glue this centerize this a little bit. Watching all my sides. Now what I am going to do is lift this up. Put some more pressure on this bottom. And there we go. We've got that. And now we could use a little card to decorate it up. We'll decorate in a second. We've got time to. Alright, so there we go. So we have that. Now we don't have anything on this side. But I want to keep checking to make sure it's just not getting too overly bulky. And so far we're okay. So we've got one pocket. We've got one here. But we could put a little pocket up here too. And I have this dove. Here we go. This card with a dove on it. Because I said this is going into a prayer journal. And yeah, because when you open it up, that'll be up that way. I think I'm just going to trim it a little bit on the ends. Bring it in just a little bit. And round the corners. And around the corners. And so now that will fit right there. I just want to make sure it's not going to be in the wrong spot. And so we're going to glue this one on 3 sides. Oh, we did not put the top on our ink. Take this, leaving enough room to make sure we've got some room for it to fold. And glue it down. So now we have our little writing pad right here. And then we've got our pocket here, which I won't open yet. And so now we have these. And what my thought was for a closure, I should be able to do it right there, is I have this and my little button so that we can put it around. But I wanted to thicken it up just a little bit for the stitching. And then I'm going to put some holes in it. So I'm going to glue it. The right side, yep. And I'll put this right about there. And now what I think I'm going to try and do, I haven't done this before, so let's see. I have my needle and thread already working, and I think I'm going to try, you might want to put the pocket on second on this. Make a little hole, make a little hole. Make a little hole, and make a little hole, and then I'm going to come up Make sure I don't have that caught. And so we're going to pull that through. And I grabbed this little red button. If I had some brads, I probably would have been better off to use a brad, but I don't have any brads. Got some coming in the mail, but I don't have any brads. So we're just gonna sew this, and make sure you do this before you put the pocket on. That would be much easier. I don't want to glue this down, because if I glue the button down, I won't be able to use it with the string around it. Alright, so there's one. And I'm going to come back through the hole. You know when you have an idea in your head and it's like, oh, this would be cool, I'll do this. Yeah. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Oh, it's so much more easy putting a button on fabric. And now, I'm not going to go around this too many times because I'll weaken the paper. What I'm going to do is tie a knot. Definitely on the next one, put this pocket right here on after you sew the button on, if you decide to sew a button on. And I just tore something. So through the paper a couple more times. And I think I'm going to take a dab of fabric fix. No, I'll use tacky glue. And I'm going to hold that in place. And I think I'm going to take to see if I had an extra piece of the fabric that I was using. Material. Not. So I'm going to take that and try to get it in there. There, and that'll help hold that down a little bit too. And so now I got my button. I'm going to let it hold and glue. Hi, back again. The camera timed us out. So we are back, and so we are at the finish line just about. We have all this here. And all you're going to do is be able to tie that around for a closure. I don't know why I have such a hard time finding the center. Here we go. And you've got your tie for the center. And then when you open it, we have our pockets. We have our little tearaway paper that they can write with right there. And if we wanted to decorate it more, we could. We could put some, I think I will put some I'm gonna tie this to hold it. And we'll put some liquid pearls. I always say I'm going to do this and then I end up holding it off because I know how quickly you're just doing a little up and down. This just adds just a little extra touch to it. But the only thing you have to remember with this is don't mess with it. Let it dry. Okay. I think I'm going to put this right over here. I'm going to put my little fabric fixing on it just so it'll help it dry. Now this is extremely long and I'll play with that in a minute. Now the other thing I wanted to work on tonight is these are the they're little prayer journals, and everything is in the kit, and the pages are beautiful. They have roses and crosses, and the Lord's Prayer is in here. Writing sheets, some with lines, some without lines. And so far all I've done was I've glued, it comes with 2 pages together on the same sheet, so it makes, and that's where you're going to put your fold line. So I just glued 2 of the pages together so I'd have a front and a back on each one. And then I don't know if I'm going to just leave them like this, but I think I want something harder, so I probably will make a pretty cover to go over this. And then that way I probably could slip a cross in it too. But this is where we're going to, and this is from Front Porch Designs. I will make sure I put her name in there, and she's got beautiful, I love her digital designs. They're just so pretty. But this is what this will be part of, is when we get going with it. And so now this one, we're going to make, there you are,